Hi everyone, my name is Tongmun Shin, a second-year PhD student at the University of Washington. I'm excited to share with you today a paper titled From Paper to Card, Transforming Design Implications with Generative AI. This work was done in collaboration with my advisors, Gary Xie and Lucy Luang. First, let us discuss the background of our study, which is the relationship between HCI papers and designers. Designers are one of the primary audiences for HCI papers, and many HCI researchers often incorporate design implications, or guidelines, directly into their papers. These resources prove invaluable to designers as they are typically well-founded and undergo rigorous peer review. However, prior literature revealed that designers rarely read and consume this academic knowledge from papers, and previous studies in translational science has identified various reasons for this, such as designers' unfamiliarity with the structure and language used in academic papers. This made it difficult for tons of useful design insights to be communicated with designers. One potential solution is to employ design cards for conveying insights. Design cards are tools that facilitate the design processes and can contain several types of design knowledge, from human insights to material and domain knowledge. In HCI, there is a long tradition of creating design cards to communicate research insights. However, one challenge with relying on using design cards to communicate academic findings is how these cards should be generated. Authors and designers may encounter challenges in manually crafting them due to a potential lack of expertise and time for such translational efforts. One approach to tackle this issue could involve harnessing generative AI models, like large language models or text-to-image models. It's likely that many of you are already familiar with ChatGPT's capabilities. These large language models generate text based on the user prompt and are recognized for their ability to produce contextually relevant outputs. Similarly, text-to-image models are capable of creating images from text prompts. These models have also found applications in various translational tasks for academic research, such as augmenting paper reading processes and generating research highlights. Motivated by these applications, our goal in the study is to establish a scalable method for transforming design implications into a prescriptive format, which is a design card. So we set our questions in twofold. Given that design cards lack a universal format, and there is uncertainty about how design cards for translational purposes should appear, our initial focus is to grasp what designers truly desire to find in them. The next question is about assessing whether design cards produced by generative AI effectively convey design implications to designers. To address the initial query regarding the desired content of the design cards for delivering academic insights, we decided to run a preliminary study. First, we selected 3 papers featuring design implication sections, and we formulated a formative design card component based on the existing card decks available. Then, we recruited 12 designers and had a semi-structured interview. Here, each designer was offered a link that directs to Miraboard, where they can choose one among several options for each component from the template. Their responses were later transcribed and analyzed using thematic analysis. So here's the template that we used, where the initial card contains title that delivers the concise topic, description that describes a bit more specifically, evidence that may serve as an evidence of the implication elicited from the paper, and a visual illustration of the implications. Here, we pre-selected each component by prompting generative AI with varying prompts to inform the future design and reflect some potential constraints around it. Each component had varying levels of length and specificity, and for the image, we set 2 dimensions for generating images using a text-to-image model in varying levels, which are color and abstractness. So here's a summary of the findings. Designers wish to see the action from the title, which is not too directive to harm their creativity. They also wanted a description that outlines target users, design subjects, and the rationale behind the implications. The image was expected to represent a potential use case of the implication in a colored, abstract format to minimize potential distortion of representation stemming from the hyper-realistic depiction. Lastly, they wish to see the summary, evidence, and citation of the paper for augmenting their understanding of the overall paper content and ensuring believability. Based on these findings, we finalized the design of our design cards as shown on the right, consisting of title, description, image, summary, evidence, and citation. We also designed our card such that it has a vivid background color that harmonizes with the predominant color of the image to enhance aesthetics. So here's the pipeline for implementing our system. First, we utilized a machine learning-based segmentation model to segment the paper PDF. Once segmented, the system proceeds to extract paper components such as the paper title, abstract, and DOI. Meanwhile, it awaits user selection for the paragraph from which design cards are to be generated. Then, employing a combination of large language models and text-to-image models, each component of the design card format is generated. Our approach incorporates various large language model techniques, including instruction, future prompting, and Q&A with in-context learning. Additionally, DOI is processed via doi.org API to generate a citation in MLA format. In addressing our second query regarding the effectiveness of our AI-generated design cards in conveying design implications, we conducted a comprehensive study involving both designers and paper authors. The study with designers encompassed both interviews and quantitative surveys. Similar to what we did for our preliminary study, we chose 4 papers with design implications and created design cards. Then each designer was randomly assigned with 2 papers and asked to evaluate both raw paper design implication text and design card, with the order randomized. More specifically, we asked them to rate using a survey metric consisting of 6 values for evaluating the communication of design implications. Here, we hypothesized that key academic values like validity, originality, and generalizability would remain the same across both raw design implication text and AI-generated design cards. Additionally, we expected our design cards to augment inspirability, generativity, and actionability. Also, for the study with paper authors, we added 8 more papers and emailed the design cards to the authors of 12 papers in total and requested their evaluation of this design card. For the analysis, we employed a linear mixed effects model for analyzing quantitative results, and qualitative results were analyzed using thematic analysis in a manner consistent with our preliminary study. From the quantitative analysis, we found that the design card's validity, generalizability, and originality remained the same compared to those of the original paper text, even after going through a lot of processing. In addition, designers found our design cards to be more generative and inspiring compared to reading the original paper text. However, there was no significant difference in terms of actionability. We also derived several key themes from both the qualitative responses of designers and the evaluation by the paper authors. First, we identified that visual hierarchy and elements played a crucial role in making cards visually appealing and easily consumable. And also, the design cards facilitated digestibility and aided designers in comprehending content easily through the use of concise language. Third, we discovered that designers and authors did not believe that our design cards lost their original validity and originality compared to the original paper text, attributing this to the evidence and citations provided on the other side of the card. At the same time, we could also identify several areas for future improvement. First, we've noted opportunities to enhance the utilization of images, such as incorporating infographics or representative figures from the original paper. Additionally, some authors highlighted discrepancies between their expectations for image representation and the actual images, highlighting the potential need to improve the pipeline for aligning these elements. From our study, we were able to surface several key insights. First, we could identify the potential of our system to help authors to communicate their design implications. More specifically, our AI-generated design cards were viewed as being more inspiring and generative, while maintaining validity, originality, and general legibility, thanks to evidence quotes and visually stimulating design choices. At the same time, our findings suggest engaging authors to boost image use in design cards. For example, the system could present varied image prompts for authors to select the most fitting one for their message. One limitation of our study is that the current version of design cards was not seen as actionable. To resolve this, we could envision adding some more detailed design guidance or connecting real-world examples to the card. Lastly, we envision integrating our system to existing digital libraries to mitigate the awareness issue of design cards. These are the references that I used for the presentation. Thank you so much, and this TLDR illustrates one of the discussion points from our paper in a design card format generated by the system.